In this lesson, we'll be considering how new cells are created. Stem cells. The specification has the following to say about this. A stem cell is We start off just one cell big, when a sperm cell fertilizes an egg. As the embryo grows, this cell divides in two, and those cells divide in two. But these cells can't all be the same. Lots of different types of specialized cell are needed to make a human. Once a cell has become specialized, once it's differentiated, it usually loses the ability to make copies of itself by mitosis. To overcome this problem, we have stem cells. Stem cells are undifferentiated cells that can make new copies of themselves and can also differentiate to make the specialized cells that we need. All these cells have exactly the same genes, but each cell uses only the genes that it needs, not all of them. Now there are a few differentiated cells that can divide by mitosis, but not many. The liver cells and the T cells in the blood are some examples. The main way to create specialized cells that we need for growth and repair is to use a stem cell. Stem cells can make copies of themselves, and they can also differentiate to become a specialized cell. We'd run out of stem cells if they couldn't make copies of themselves. But being able to turn into a specialized cell is just as important. We need to replace damaged and worn out cells every day. Millions and millions of them in every human body every day. The specialized cells have lost the ability to divide, so they need to come from a cell that can divide, a stem cell. Stem cells occur throughout our body. Embryonic stem cells are found in the blastocyst, but stem cells are found in our tissues as we develop. Not all stem cells are the same though. Embryonic stem cells can become any type of cell, but the stem cells in our tissues can only create the sort of cell found in that tissue. Tissue stem cells are sometimes known as adult stem cells. That can be confusing because an unborn baby does have stem cells in its tissues which are referred to as adult stem cells. There are some different terms that you need to know which describe the range of cells that a stem cell can become. Totipotent stem cells can become absolutely any cell type, including the placenta and the umbilical cord. Embryonic cells within the first few cell divisions after fertilization are the only cells in our body that are ever totipotent. Pluripotent stem cells can become any of the cell types needed in an adult body. So this is anything other than the placenta and the umbilical cord. All but the very early embryonic stem cells are pluripotent. Multipotent stem cells can become a range of different cell types, but their range is limited. They can't become all the different cell types. Unipotent stem cells can only become one type of specialized cell. We get totipotent and pluripotent stem cells from part of the blastocyst of the early embryo before it implants in the womb. And because these cells are pluripotent, we can use them to get any of the tissue stem cells that we might need. Controlling pluripotent stem cells so that they create what we want is very difficult though. We know they can do what we want, but lots of research is still needed so that we know the correct conditions to guide them into making a particular cell type. Once this is done, we can replace the cells damaged by disease. We could grow insulin-producing cells for a diabetic, or new nerve cells to repair a broken spinal cord. We can also use stem cells to create the cells for researching diseases or testing new drug therapies. Embryonic stem cells are not always available though. A stem cell with the same genetic information as you has to be taken from your body. And these tissue stem cells will only be multipotent, not pluripotent. Each source of stem cells has a limited range of cell types it can become. A tissue stem cell from your blood can only make blood cells. To overcome this limitation of tissue stem cells, we can create pluripotent stem cells with your genetic information in a process known as therapeutic cloning. To do this, we use an existing embryo cell. The nucleus is removed from the embryo cell and replaced with the nucleus from one of your cells. Any cells grown from this will use your genetics, so they won't be rejected when they're implanted into your body. There are potential problems with this though. Human embryos are available because they are routinely created during fertility treatments. But the technique does still mean killing a human embryo. And if the parents passed a virus to the embryo, then that virus is also passed on to you. It's not ethical or legal in humans, but we could also implant these embryos into a surrogate mother to create a clone, a whole living clone of you. Plants don't grow the same way as we do. They keep on increasing in size throughout their life. We grow in size by adding cells all over our body. Plants grow in size by adding cells only in particular areas in the plant. These areas are called meristems. There are meristems at the tips of roots and at the tips of shoots. There are also meristems in a ring along the length of the stem. Stem cells from meristems in plants are totipotent. They can be used to create any of the cells in the plant, not just particular types. This means that we can use meristem cells to produce clones of the entire plant very quickly and economically. So rare species can be easily cloned to protect them from extinction. We don't need to wait for them to create a new embryo. We just need a sample of the plant, take some of its meristem cells. Now, if we have a particular plant that has desirable characteristics, we can also use the meristem cells to produce large numbers of identical plants with those special features, such as disease resistance. If we waited for that special plant to grow to maturity, to make a seed through the sexual reproduction with another plant, then all the seeds will be slightly different. They may not have the desirable characteristics that we seek. But if we've got one plant with the same characteristics that we're looking for, all we need to do is clone one of the cells from that plant to create other plants with identical characteristics. Don't forget to download the resources for this video from the link in the description, especially the notes template. LearnFix has a lot more to offer than just the videos and the exam questions. The most popular aspect is the set of 12 online learning games we have for each topic. These help you practice your recall of the details. Now when it comes to revision, LearnFix is there to help. After each section of the syllabus, there's a diagnostic quiz to help focus your revision efforts. You can then use a progress report to look back at the details for that particular topic, what went well and what needs more work. We're adding new features every month, so visit us at learnfix.com to find out more.